electoral commission's behavior, yes, we assessed it that it was not transparent and it was not effective because I witnessed myself one polling station where all the voters voted and the process was finished, ended. Then after some minutes the information came that the process should go on till 7 o'clock. So unwillingly they opened everything again and continued the process. And in some districts, as you know, the voting process continued even the next day. And to me, that is really inefficient work of the, not transparent work of the Electoral Commission. And from all discussions we had here, we can say that Electoral Commission lacks trust among everybody which we spoke to. So I'm very safe to say that loudly or publicly. You know, they noticed that in some places it was half an hour, in some places it was 2 hours, and here in Kampala I observed it myself and other colleagues that they started 11:45 because people were queuing there, but they were still waiting for voting materials. And I admired them. They were not shouting at us, that they were quiet, but you know, the longer it takes, the more nervous you are, waiting without, you know, without doing anything. So that's why we said that it was really failure of the Electoral Commission to deliver voting materials in time, thus creating unnecessary problem with the voting process. That's how I would put it.
That is not on, and there should be a clear distinction between government and party, and on all levels, especially on the local level. There must be a reform in this case. If you have a multi-party democracy, you need a clear distinction between government functions, government funds, and party function and party funds. Access to media and communication with voters is so important to have a democratic election process. And we have been witnessed many reports that candidates have been blocked from radio stations, and there is not a level playing field in the main TV programs, the state TV. We have reports that in the last weeks on prime time news, the NIM candidate had 11 hours and the opposition candidate had 4 minutes. Now on the election day we observed many polling stations in Kampala, Jinja and Masaka district, in the urban as in the rural area. And myself, I was going in parts of Kampala, but I couldn't observe anything because nothing happened for a long time.
Intimidation and harassment of opposition by police and law enforcement bodies, as well as arrest of supporters and voters, were reported from more than 20 districts. Yes, of course, the recommendations which are given after the observing of the elections are for all stakeholders in Uganda, not only for the government. And I want to stress that they are recommendations. Take it or leave it. Of course, we would be happy if you take all of them, and we would be only willing to strongly to cooperate with you in order to implement them. Last time, I think there were 32 recommendations, and how many of them were implemented? 2 or 3, if I remember well. So yes, sir, we are very much willing to work with you if you decide to take seriously our recommendations and implement it.